Hi everybody. Sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. I was starving, so I had to go get a snack. But I hope everybody had a pretty good weekend. It was a bit too busy for me. Didn't feel like I got a whole lot of rest, but what can you do? It's cold again here in Houston, which is strange. I didn't think we'd have another cold day, but anyway, let's get started on programming. So we're working on rejoining a game. Things got shuffled around, it seems like, but so we got a bit of work done last time. Okay, so alright, so let's start from the server. So it listens to here, and then let's go to that. Okay, so connection state. If there's no connection, then that means that if we're in any of these states, that means I failed to create the server, so we need to try to make it again. So yeah, let's start with that. First check. Okay, that's what this does. Is it just checks right when we start the game. Okay. So what happens if we have the connection state none and then we try to restart again? I think it would just stay none when in it, so we'd have to start a timer. Okay, well, we're probably getting ahead of ourselves. So it would first go to disconnected, so need to send the command. Just create a function to do that. Send start reconnect command. And how this would work is it again needs to check if you're server or client. Okay, so I'm just thinking, like, if we can always, like, when does this stuff get zeroed out? So when we call the stop server. So the server could stop. That's a good question. Does it get stopped Okay, so now, actually let's test this real quick. I forget exactly how it works. If that stop server is called when it disconnects or not. Okay, and then play here. So I want to see what the server connection state's changed to. So if the client disconnects. Okay, so first it does change a disconnect, and then the very next frame it changes to none. Okay, that's called by the system. Okay. So it changed to none because I think in the lobby it just automatically or cancels the server when it gets disconnected. So one other thing. Okay, so we should probably use something else, another state here besides none, because none would imply that all these have been canceled out or have been erased, like here. But this time we just failed to start, so let's change this to no, the only complication of this is that we need maybe a better way to do this actually would be just that the state doesn't change, period, if it fails to start. But then we need to have some other callback maybe. Or we could just return a boolean, I guess. Yeah, so okay, now the problem is though that I think the start host always sets the server to open even if this network client is null. Maybe what we should do is change this so that if client does not equal null, we set it to open, and then we just don't use this function anymore. Okay, so yeah, let's delete this. Okay, so now we set it to open. Theoretically this could work, but I wonder if there's any chance that the start host would like call this already. I'd rather not change things since we've already done so much. just to be safe. We'll say if client does not equal null and server info connection to state does not equal connected already. As a failsafe, we should probably also have it so that we can't call this start host with port if the state is already connected or open. So server already started. And then we should probably go ahead and add this same thing up on the start client. Okay, that's pretty good. Music is loud. Okay, so client already started. Oh, did I say connected twice? So this should be seeking. And then down here, yeah, I did connect it twice, so I need to say open. Okay. So let's see how back down in this setup host screen manager when we actually create the client. Okay, so yeah, we just say if it's none, then we say error creating host port already in use. That's probably fine. So then here, all you have to do is that if it's disconnected, yeah, we just try to restart it. Okay. So now that should be fine. So let's see. just grab the objects from here. And then I can, maybe they have them here somewhere too. Okay, yeah, right here. I won't need the stop commands, but alright, so we just send the start host command send. Okay, now all we have to do is send the type as reconnect, and then it will just use our previous values. And then if server info connection state is still disconnected, then we know that we need to try again after a while. Okay, so if it's still disconnected, we need to set the state to connection state, try restart my connection, and then we need to have a timer. So private bool connect timer. Okay, and let's just have a constant up here. We'll wait 10 seconds. Oh, did I turn this into a bool? Yeah, that's weird. Okay, so, and then if we need to add it right here, so case reconnection state, try restart. Oops, I was doing the Unity way. We already have the delta timer here. Then if reconnect timer is less than or equal to 0, then we call the send start reconnect command again. Okay, so if it doesn't fail, what state do we go to? Okay, so we actually need another one here. Yeah, I guess we'll do this also for open, because if we get disconnected again, then we'll want to try again. Let's see. So disconnected is okay. So actually, I don't need this open because I think disconnected is the same thing. Disconnected is currently not connected to other player. Server client is open. So here we're currently not connected and failed to open server. Well, I guess client, but this, I don't think that will ever happen. Waiting to retry. And then here, currently connected to other player after a disconnection, waiting for them to finish loading. And then other player finished loading, sent start our current board state, then waiting for ready to resume play. All right. I think there might be some other things, but we'll do this. Well, I guess there's two ways this can happen. So just say that the players lose internet connection, but both players still have the game loaded. So let's see what happened there. Let's say the server, like it technically doesn't matter who loses internet access, so but let's just do it from the server's perspective. So disconnected, both of the players' clients would be open, and when the internet is reestablished, they connect again. So then they wait for the message, which would just fire immediately. So who sends the message though? I guess both of them would send it to the server. So whoever the server is. Okay, so the only difference here is that we also need a receiving start state. So both players finished loading, waiting to receive current board state. And then let's change this to current. And then I'll actually change this to signaled ready. So both players have loaded and have current board state. Then I signaled ready to play, and so then we just wait again for both the servers, for the server to get that signal from both players. Okay, so in this, again, when so if they lost internet connection but both players are still loaded, the server would wait to see it's to receive a message that the other player is ready. And I guess this message would tell the other player if they need the board state again. Well, actually, yeah, I would say if they've crashed or not. And then if they have crashed and they don't have a board state, let's see. So I think there's another step we need to do here. Waiting for state message. Okay, so both players need to send the server. Both players send the server. If mods are all loaded and if they need the board state. I guess this is technically the same because we can just wait until, yeah, they just wait to send the loaded message once they're loaded. Okay, yeah, so this is where I'm getting confused because if yeah, this code wouldn't be running if a client crashed and they tried to reconnect that way, because it'd be some handler in the loading scene, so we don't have to deal with that here. So in the case of a crash, so we'd be just waiting here, and then once we're here at first, and then once we see that they've connected, we transition this state, and then we wait for them to send us a message that they're finished loading. And then since they finished loading, we know that they don't have the start state, so we send them the start state and then signal ready, and then they, as some handler in the loading scene, will take the start state, set up the board and everything, and then they'd signal ready and everything would load in. Okay, so then, yeah, and so in the case that, the reason that it's complicated if both players don't crash is because they need to always defer to the server for the board state. So let's see. So what would happen in that occurrence is that when they get connected, they'd change to receiving, or they change from disconnected to waiting for a load message, which they would both send right away, saying that they're already loaded. Then the server, yeah, then they'd change to this state, and the server would send out the board state, which they would receive, and then after they've loaded it, then they'd signal ready, and then they just wait for the server to say okay, and then they change back to connected. So I think we're all set. Okay, so now that I changed all this, so this is the check for disconnection, which is basically everything. for load message. Because if it ever gets disconnected on any of these, then it needs to start the whole thing over. And then signaled ready. Okay, so then on disconnected. Okay, so it's disconnected here, and then they need to try to reconnect. Which would actually just set the state again. If it succeeds. Okay. And yeah, we'll do this later. And we'll do the same thing for the client, but the client, well, I guess we'll just be careful. Start client command. The thing about the client is I don't think, so we want the local info. I don't think I can ever fail to open a connection, so, but we'll just keep this here in case. There's no harm in it. Okay, so yeah, else if server info connection state is open, then we'll set this disconnected here. It's the same thing. Okay. The reason I do that there is because, well, technically the oh, what's it seeking for this? I guess technically in the same frame it could reconnect, so why we need to set that there. Okay, so then we'll break and then switch to the same thing. Okay, I think this is gonna complicate things. I wanted to separate it at first because technically you could, like I said down here, you could connect during this try restart my connection. But I think it's actually easier if before we call this stuff, we just call, or we just set the state to disconnected. State. And then we reset it back to restart my connection if it fails. So now we don't need this code either. Okay, so now we have that taken care of. So now it is in a disconnected state. So we want to wait for it to go to connected. Okay, so I think all we do is change the state to waiting for a load message. so we don't do anything now. Well, except okay, so one thing we need to do actually is we send our message. Okay, so let's set that up in the network player interface. So what would be let's create something like this. Reconnection. Hello message. And here we'd send connection ID like always. Public state. Wait. Alright, so we have basically loaded and loading. And this is the message that the players send each other when they reconnect. Okay, so there it is. So this would be reconnection hello message. Why is that not showing up in there? Oh, it's playing the wrong namespace. Alright. Change all these type arguments. So then we'll call a command cmd play reconnection hello. And I'll move this all the way down with the other play scene messages. Okay, so we should make another logic class here. How about reconnection server? So this will be all the code that runs on the server. So reconnection server manager simple scene. Okay, so the first thing trying to see if we actually need. Yeah, we probably should cache all the hello messages actually. Message received. Private. I'll do a dictionary of the connection ID to the hello message. Okay, so what should let's see. Trying to decide how the server will keep track of the state. Now the weird thing about this server manager is I want to use the same code both in the play and the loading scene, so I need to keep that in mind. I don't think it'll actually have any different logic really. That just means that it can't rely on anything that's only in one scene, for example. Okay, I guess we'll just go one by one and work it out as we go. Okay, okay, so what do we resend here? Okay, so when the server receives the hello messages, in fact, what would it send back to the other players? I guess nothing until it's received a hello message from both players. And then maybe it would send back an object telling which player is expected to send the board state. Or maybe it would just send the board state right away. Let's see. Let's go back. Yeah, right here. We actually might have one extra state than we need. Because really, yeah, they can just send the hello message and then the game just loads up. And then the server just sends it the current board state right away once it receives a hello message from both. Okay, well one thing is, take for example, if the server or the host player is the player that crashed, then the server wouldn't actually know the state. So in which case it would have to send a request to get the state. But I guess the player could just go ahead and send the board state along with its hello message, so maybe we'll do that. So we're going to need another class. Network board state. So it's basically going to need to condense what's in this in the board class into some object that we can send over the network. Okay, So we don't need to do dimensions or the graphics ID because both players know that from the mod. Mostly, I think we're going to need to send a list of pieces, specifically their places on the board. Okay, so let's look. So you'll have this in their behavior, the owner, the board position. Yeah, I guess if it's captured or not. It's basically all this stuff. Right, so we'll need public class network board state piece. So it'll be public int behavior ID public. So another thing I'll need to send here is the turn order, so we can do public connection ID first player. Oh, I did. Yeah, this is integer. And then I guess this will be the connection ID of the first player, because this is randomly chosen. Some other things. So yeah, there are some other information we'll have to send here, I think. Like turn number, and then the active player, and also consecutive turns, because remember, for checkers you can have more than one turn in a row. And then we'll need, of course, all the pieces. We should actually change this to game state instead of board state, because it's more than just the board. This also works. Almost works. Can't use connection IDs for this, but this almost works for the, like, if we were gonna let you save to a disk and reload. So network board state piece pieces. Let's change the name of this as well. Alright, then yeah, what I was looking over here is I need to change the file name. Okay. I think we're all good here. Let's see, is there any other information here? Turn, consecutive turn, active player. What about the match manager? Okay, so I think this is all the information we need to completely regenerate a game if it's lost. So we've got to send that over the network. So the reconnection hello message. We should also send the network game state. Okay, so we're going to say bool has game state, and we don't need to do this type, I don't think. Okay, and then we'll want the reconnection server, oops, server gosh, I can't type, reply, okay, what we do here, I guess it would just return the game state to use. Yeah, because both players would send their game state. So here's how the server's logic would go. Both players would send their game state, and then first it will look if the connection ID is the host player, and the host has the game state. Then it would send back this game state to both players. So I guess I can public int origin, because the game won't need to reconfigure if it's using the same game state. I don't know, maybe it's a good idea just to have it do it anyway. Okay, but if the host doesn't have a game state, then it would use the other players. And I guess if neither player has a game state, then, well, that should never happen, but we'll have to think of something that something how the game would handle that error. Let's say public. So I guess if there's no game state, then we return true there, and then both games would just exit. Because the game's been lost and you might as well just start a new one. Okay, so I think we're all good there. Okay, so reconnection server reply. Received hello. So connection hello message. Okay, and so then we also want the server information. Okay, so first we'll insert this into the cache. Hello. Connection ID equals hello. Okay, well first I'm gonna, well I remember, let's go back to the network player interface and we'll say if is valid connection ID. Alright. Okay, so before we do this, let's actually do this. So, okay, so reconnection, server, where'd it go? Okay, apply equals game link game scene components get component, and we'll want a remote function that returns the server reply from the hello message. Then it's int component keys. So how we, oh yeah, we go server. Let's see. Reconnect. Hello received. And then that's all there. And then we just query. Okay, so that calls this function in the reconnection server manager. So if reply does not equal null, then we call the RPC the client private void RPC reconnect hello reply received. Okay, and then this will do things, so let's wait a bit. Okay, so first we get this, and then we need to see if we have the hello message for both players. Host hello equals let's do it this way. Host hello, client hello. If the message is try get value host hello. I did this backwards. It's server info host connection ID out host hello, and then we do the same thing for the client. Oops. Let's move this down. Okay, so it has both. Okay, so otherwise we'll return null because it doesn't have both hello messages yet. So reconnection, server reply. Okay, so if host hello has game state, then reply game state equals host hello game state. Else, if client hello has a game state, then we set that. Otherwise, we set no game state to true. Okay, then we return the reply. So yeah, we don't even need this. Okay, so we do need one other thing. Let's see. And ready received. Okay, so now we have ready receive. Okay, so this yeah, okay, so we do need this because what happens is we send out this we send back the reply, and then the games need to like reload the starting state, and then they send a message back to the server saying they're ready, and then the server sends them a message saying that they can start the game. Okay, so let's go back to network player interface. I think about it. Did I ever set this up? No, I just use the same thing. So let's say reconnect Let's say send reconnect hello. That's what we'll call this. Okay, so now we need one more for send reconnect ready. And yeah, we'll also need to add this stuff up into the loading scene. And I think we can just send just our connection ID. So command send reconnection ready. And I'll generate this down here. And this is another command. Okay, and so we'll do something similar. First, yeah, of course we need to do the is valid. Oh gosh, valid connection ID. Okay, and then if game link game get component. Oh wait, components get component. And then we'll have another remote function that returns a boolean, and we'll pass the connection ID. So int component keys server reconnect ready received, and then query connection ID. Alright. Alright, too many parentheses there. Okay, so if we do, this returns true, then we know both players are ready, so we can send to RPC. Reconnect already. Okay. So yeah, we can go ahead and set up these messengers. Components, get component. And component keys. So this would be reconnection reply received. And then we send the reply. Same down here. Reconnection already received. This doesn't even need to send any type, so this is good. Okay. Alright, so let's see. Oh, I think I just realized something that I did wrong. This should be Should these be scene components? Yeah, I think so, because the handling of this would be different between the scenes. This is way too long. Alright, let's close some of these up because getting way too many functions up here. Or not functions, files open. Okay, so what I was doing here, scene components. So we want to register component keys, server. That's not what I wanted. So reconnect hello received, then a new remote function. Just copy and paste these types in here. And then we gotta pass the function in the constructor. Alright, so that's set up. Private bool received ready signal. Return false. So the same thing here. Server reconnect ready received. And so here we just return a bool and then we get an integer as our argument. Alright. Okay, so what we do here is we add it to the ready received list. And then what is if? Forget what the function is that helps us here. Oh yeah, player's ready checker. Okay, so if everybody's ready, we'll just clear this stuff. And then we'll return true. Make this clear, I'll just put an else here. And one other thing we need to do, oh yeah, we need to get this over info actually, so two other things. But if at any point the server becomes disconnected, we should also clear these caches. So get component information int component keys server information. So I'm just gonna grab this code. Where is it? Yeah, from here. Okay, and then So if server info dot connection state does not equal connected, we just clear everything. Hello messages clear and ready received clear, because everything's going to need to start over. Okay, so we don't need to do that right there actually. Okay, so I think that's all we gotta do server side. Okay, so back to the reconnection manager. Let's see. So we simplified this a little bit. Okay, so what we did. Yeah, so waiting for, let's rename this to waiting for server reply. Okay, so waiting for server to send game state. Okay, so signaled I'm ready to play. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, we don't need that anymore. Okay, so we're connected, so yeah, we need to send the state right here. So send hello message. Gotta do quite a bit to get this together. Let's put this down at the bottom actually. In fact, I think I'll move this, organize some of this code a bit better. Okay, so what do we do here? Guess we can grab the messenger. So private messenger. No, what is it? Reconnection hello message. Alright, send hello message. Right, and then okay, so I think we should break out the class that figures out like the game state somewhere else. Alright, so any class that or anytime this reconnection manager exists, then we know that they have some game state because this reconnection manager is only in the play scene. So I don't have to worry about that. But let's see. Remote function, network, game state, let's see, compile game state. So yeah, let's go ahead and get these messengers here so don't forget. Scene components, get component. What is this? Oh, I don't know why it has those spaces sometimes. So int component keys. Hello, what is it? I think there's another one. Reconnection. Did I not set up that function yet? Or that messenger, I mean? Chess scene. Send connect ready. Oh no, I just made two the same. So send connect. Hello message. I bet I accidentally clicked rename instead of generate. Alright, so let me go back to the reconnection manager. That's what we want. Guess while we're here, might as well get the messenger to send ready message. So send ready message equals scene game components. Get component. Right. Sorry, I was just thinking that. I was like, maybe we should reuse this class in the loading scene, but I think we'll have them separate because where is it? Because when you're loading, if you reconnect it, just sends you back to the server. So, I mean, if you disconnect. Okay, here. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so we'll get the network game state from the game state compiler. And then send hello message. So connection ID equals local info connection ID. And then state equals state. And then has game state's always true here. Okay. So now we need to implement this part, which it's not too bad, I don't think. So let's see, game state compiler. Chess logic. Let's see. So what is? Let's see. We have the game start conditions. Where does this game start generator? Because I wonder if we should just like reuse this class. Let's see. So okay. Things are getting a bit. So we have that, and then we have the network game state. Okay, so the only difference is that the game start conditions doesn't contain the turn number and active player and all that, because it's obviously it's already decided here. So, oh yeah, so this is even already sent over the network. Yeah, so maybe... Okay, I'm just trying to think of the best way to do this, because the loading scene is gonna have... So if we did use the start conditions, we could pretty much just like reuse all this code. Let's see, so find all references. So let's see. So how would this work, for instance, if we reconnect it to a player that already exists? So the player requested start condition. So the only difference here is that here the server can always just generate new start conditions, but if it's reconnected, it's a little different. So I think it probably is better to use a different code. Maybe there's a better way to visualize this, maybe. Alright, well, the way I had it before would work, but we just kind of use like a bunch of redundant code, which I don't really like. And I feel like we shouldn't just go with it, because the whole point of this project is to learn like how to do the network code. So okay, so let's see. Guess let's open up Inkscape and maybe a little diagram would help. If it takes forever to load, I don't know why. Okay, so it just decided not to load. It's annoying. Why is that? I don't know, I never have trouble with this app except when I use it on stream, it seems like. Okay, let's try this other thing instead. Okay. So oh, now escape loads. Gosh, it was slow. Okay, well, we already got this up, so. Okay, so here's start. Okay, so if you're the server, so you've got disconnected. Okay, so right. I don't know if this is gonna help me too much either. No, I think I just need to think about this some more, so let's maybe move on. Do something else a little easier for now. I don't really want to do any more interface stuff. Oh. Okay, well, let's see. So let's go ahead. We'll use these game start conditions. Don't know why it's not second player, it's redundant. Okay, so I'll try to convert everything over to using this game state. Let's use this owner. Okay, so for instance, if you're loading, this would just be 0, 0, 0. That's good. Hey Memron, good to see you again. Then okay, so we have this loading scene server logic. It'd be nice if we could have like even in the loading scene, it just uses the same logic here. So what's different? Alright, so let's have a type here. So yeah, we'll have public enum reconnection hello type. So I'll just use an error thing there, and then there'll be 3 options. So either new game, which would need to generate the starting conditions randomly, and then we'll have reconnect has game, and then reconnect needs, that's state. And so this would be the has state are for games that like didn't crash, and then the need state is for a game that crashes and is like reloading everything, and so it needs the current state from the other player. Okay, so let's see. Oh, this keep things consistent. Okay, so let's see. What changes here? Okay, so if the host hello type and the client hello type equals new game, then it will need to generate some new start conditions here. Else is reconnection has state, then we use the state that's passed there. Okay. So then any other combination, which would usually be mismatch new game or both, needs a state. Oh, should be has state here. Then there's been some error and the games need to restart. Okay, so let's see. Right here, that's what I was looking for. So yeah, it's just a query here to get the game start conditions. Winked at you with both eyes, isn't that just a blink? Okay, so then very true. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. Is it actually? Where's I get this? Oh, right here. Okay, so I have the icing set up now. Scene setup list. Oh wait, no, we don't need to pass that. We pass this. Okay. Okay, so I think if I call, so get. Okay, except it's a different object now. So I want to obsolete this class. You don't know C#? Well, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to ask, but I mean, I'd be happy to try and help out. Okay, so yeah. So now that I set that as obsolete, it will give me a little warning whenever anything's used, because we want to convert it all to network game state. Okay, Okay, so let's see here. Oh, we don't want that anymore. We actually want game start generator is what I was looking for. What's a variable? Well, that little face next to it indicates to me that you might be joking with me a little bit. Okay, so then we'll send that back. Okay. So there's no more first player, and then we have the turn number is 0, and then consecutive. Actually, I can't type. 0, and then active player is also first player. I don't need the second player at all. Trying to think if there's any reason why I would need to send that. Yeah, I don't think so. So what's bad about this? Oh, okay, so you just send the first. That works. Forget anything? Okay, so network game state piece. The little arrow, that's just, it's called an anonymous function. Let's see. Trying to show where I had it. Oh, I guess in the player interface. So, yeah, like right here. Another way to type this is if I just made another function that called something like, I don't know, handle network picked mod, and then the argument would be this m. I guess I can go ahead and write it for you to show. Void handle network picked mod, and then what's the message actually? How many Subway footlongs? Depends how hungry I am. Probably right now I could go for 2. Okay, and then you just copy and paste. So yeah, this is basically the same thing, except up here I don't have the name. Sounds good. What did you, what kind? Right, so where was I? Alright, the game start generator. Right, so that was easy to convert. How many waves of second graders could I fight a 5th grade boss? I don't know if I should answer that. Might have somebody knocking at my door. Oh yeah, we don't need that anymore. Oh no, I can't say I did. Oh, he passed away. I don't know what to say to that. We can only do so much. Well, I do appreciate my puns, but send all of my prayers to his family. Wow, you really have thought of a bunch of those. Okay, so what do I do next here? So the loading scene, the only other thing we have is yeah, this is gonna be obsolete too, I think. He's an imposter. I don't know why, but I like that one. Okay, so the only other thing is this error, I think. Maybe I'll just pull this into here. Oh wow, I just found a bug. That's weird. I thought that we tested this. Whoa. Okay, so all we have to do for this is okay, so notified error, return true. Okay, so hello, ready. And then we got this error. Oh, someone trying to scam you? Yeah, sorry, my chat doesn't allow links, but it's good that you taught him a lesson. Okay, we don't need that. Let's clean this up a little bit. No problem. So I think let's go back to the interface and fix this up. Do we need this anymore? So the thing is that this has already been so if we use this server manager for both. Okay, so I guess all we'd have to do is the loading scene would wait until everything's loaded to send this hello message. So yeah, we don't need this anymore. And then we don't need the ready to play, so we just need this error one. Right, so we just worked on all this, but I'm just gonna comment out this whole thing. Right. Okay, so then we need one command here. Oh, what's that? Is there an error somewhere? Oh, right here. I'll comment this out for now. so command private and let's see, player loading error received, then int connection ID, and then we just test this. Wait, if is valid connection. Okay, and then copy this. Get rid of those comments. Let's change this. Loading error. This, that's another thing. What happens if we get this error command and the well, one player is in the play scene and another player is in the loading scene? We'll have to deal with that. So let's move this down here. And then we got rename some of these because they're not just on the play scene anymore. Yeah, sort of playable. The problem is when I'm doing this netcode, I don't think you could actually get to the play, get to the scene to actually play chess. It would just be stuck in loading forever. Okay, so let's make private void load, or let's subscribe to loading messages. Yeah, but I should save like a partially playable build so that people can try it out. Okay, so we don't have this anymore. Okay, so I'm just going to make a new one here because I don't want to just rename this because it has slightly different functionality. Send reconnect error. So CMD, what is it? Player loading error received. And yeah, this is going to be an int. Every time I start, well, I just reopened the Unity project. And it, I mean, it doesn't really take that long. Oh, I left it playing this whole time. Okay, so type here would be, well, it's always has state. Okay. So what I was going to do is then I just call this on the chess scene and the loading scene. Alright, so now we can use this reconnection server manager in both the loading and the play scene, so that's nice. So let's go back and handle the play scene. Oh, where is that? And while I remember, I'm going to go ahead and subscribe to so one thing I just noticed right here where I send stuff, I need to create these events actually. Let's do the ready first since it's right there. So scene components, then int component keys, send reconnect ready. Alright. Then this new messenger. Let's see if I could just move some of these values around. Okay, and then we've got the okay, so we haven't handled what we do when we actually receive anything yet. I'm gonna add something here. And play scene, handle other players, loading errors. So we'll need to figure out what we do there in that case. But so let's see, we have the is it the game, where'd it go? Game start generator. But so this reconnection manager, this state we actually need to get the current state, not generate a new one. So yeah, we probably should just use a whole new class. Did I actually already make that? Yeah, game state compiler. Okay, so then we'll have this function, just network game state, compile state, and then I'll go ahead and register it while I'm thinking about it. So compile, did I not set it up yet? I guess not. Okay, no, I didn't get it, so compile current game state, new remote function, and we'll return the game state, and we don't need any arguments ourselves. Hi, Mr. Senior Squid. Unfortunately, I only have about 5 more minutes to stream, but at least you could come in for a sec. Sure. What's your question? Let's see. How can you change the default value of a variable at start? Well, it depends, but in general you can just set it like this. So if you want the variable to start with 5, if you're using it specifically in Unity, you can use this awake function to set the variable to 5 right there. But that's only if you're using like a Unity script. You can also set it in the constructor like that in this constructor function. Alright, so yeah, this compiler is going to need a whole lot of classes. Needs active player. It needs the current turn. I hope that helps in your squid. Oh, did I just get disconnected? If I did, sorry about that. Twitch says I'm disconnected, but OBS says I'm still streaming, so I don't know what to trust. But so what's the other stuff we need? Oh yeah, consecutive turns. Oh, okay, I'm back. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. OBS said I was still there the whole time, but I hope you got my answer, Senior Squid, and if I hope it helped you. Oh, you're back. Okay. Oh yeah, I do that all the time. Play games with stream in the background. Hey, yeah, no problem. I don't know if I disconnected or not. What else do I need here? So I got the turn number, active player. I guess I'll need the first player. So maybe I should cache the... probably not the whole thing. Let's see. Div player. First player. ID. Twitch bot in Python, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be. I've thought about that as well. Oh, you heard me talking the whole time, okay. Alright, and then... let's see. I just got the pieces, okay. So for that we'll need the board. So the only one I'm not sure how I'll get is this first player ID. I don't think we have a hook for that right now. Oh wait, no, that was the wrong thing. Scene setup. Wait, what just happened there? Oh, I clicked the rename again, didn't I? Alright, so active player equals scene. Scene components. Get component. Split sub. Component keys. What do we got? turns. Oh wait, current turn. Oh wait, this is supposed to be turn active player. Just copy and paste. Current turn, consecutive turns. Alright, and then the board we can get easily as well. Although you gotta remember it's a game component, not a scene component. Okay, and the last thing is the first player ID, so let's see. So if we look in the loading scene, where is that? Right here. Receive conditions. Okay. So we should set somewhere here. We should set the first player. First player's connection ID. Don't really have a class that's just like the game state, which right now we have it all separate into these values. I don't really necessarily know what's better, but I think for now, since I'll just make another one of these for the first player, and then we'll need to make sure we set that. This would be in the game components. So first player connection ID. Alright. So then it's just a matter of setting all this stuff. So active player equals player turn order to player value, and then state current turn. I might as well set that. And state turn number equals current turn value, and then consecutive turns. Oh wait, turns value. Oh right. So now we just gotta do the pieces, but I think now is a good place to start for now. I mean, stop for now. I'm a bit over, but I started a little late, so that's okay. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming and watching. Oh, if I complete the project, will you put on your resume? Probably. I mean, it's good to put everything, but this chess thing is just to help me learn the Unity networking, basically, because I want to make a more complicated game. But I didn't want to dive into networking without knowing how it works. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow, same time, 5 Eastern. It's been nice chatting with you all, and I'll see you later. Okay, thanks, Mimran, you too. Alright, bye-bye.